anyone have any preamble they'd like to get out?
I have one. Kieran has never seen High School Musical. Any of them.
Whoa.
What? Oh
What were
my
you
god,
doing at
Kieran.
school? I assume they just showed it at every school.
Get your head
Or
in the
you had to
game,
do a play
Kieran. Get
version
your
of it.
head in the game.
I mean, I did actually have to do a play version
I
of it.
did. I was in the
I
band.
actually, I directed a play version of it. It was when I was in sixth form, and it was like the year 10s. Me and two of my friends wrote the script and directed it as part of our upper school play.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get your
I-
head in the
Like,
game.
it was just a thing that peripherally I knew existed, and I just didn't interact with it in any way.
Can we all agree that the second one is both the best and the worst one?
The
I'd
second
say
one,
it's the most haunting.
I feel like the songs are better
Yeah.
than the second one, right?
And like the weird set they're on, where like the grass is like the greenest grass.
That's why
So
it's
like Zac
haunting.
Efron just shouts in a field. It's so like I'm gonna make us binge watch it over the weekend.
I need to know which one has the best music.
They all have really good songs.
Yeah,
I
but
think
the
either the
best.
first or the second one.
The first one's the more famous. I don't
Yeah.
remember the third one at all.
I don't remember the songs from the third one, but the production quality goes up massively in the third one because it's got a cinema release.
The first two were just.
They were Disney Channel movies.
Yeah,
And I remember
my
this being like a phenomenon. Like
Yeah.
I remember in the school it went around like wildfire. It was like herpes. Everyone had it.
I did GCSE drama, and one of our school trips was to see High School Musical 3.
It is,
That is
Yeah.
dope.
it
I
is
can't
true.
remember if I went though, but yeah, that was
It
my
is
drama.
true. It is
I
true.
remember by the time High School Musical 3 came out, I was too old for it. So only one of my friends was still into High School Musical. We had to like do a secret like shameful cinema trip to go and see it.
Mate, I watched Shark Boy and Lava Girl in the cinema. I was like 13.
Oh my god, I remember that film.
It's mad.
This
It
is
wasn't
really
a good time, but we really were curious.
That was appalling CGI even for the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
shocking.
Was that in sort of like the Spy Kids
you know,
kind of
otherwise
vein of
golden.
CGI? Like it was kind of like
No,
on
Spy
par.
Kids was
Oh,
like up
Spy
here.
Kids was great.
and
I loved Spy Kids.
Just, no, there was no comparison. Spy Kids
Spy
was
Kids
great.
had my favourite joke as a kid, where she goes, "Oh shit, talking mushrooms." I was
Yeah.
like, she almost
So
swore.
naughty.
I remember being in year 6 and being on a trip to the Isle of Wight and walking around a field and just saying that over and over again with my friends.
Oh shit!
laughing.
I was a sad kid.
I still love those films. I watched them many times. Really like the third one.
That's the 3D one.
Yeah.
Isn't one of them? Oh, what's his name? Isn't Alan Cumming in one of them?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He's in, like, all of them.
Yeah,
Is he
doesn't
in
he
all
play
of
like the
them?
villain?
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas is the dad.
He's Floop.
Floop.
Anyone?
Ah.
Just I watched
Also,
this
we're doing a
film so much.
podcast and you're both doing hand signals.
It's a hand signal that says F for Floop.
It looks like an upside down bird.
Anyway.
Look at this.
I
Yeah,
think that
that's a
looks
much better way of doing Flute.
Whatever. I could be a
Uh,
Spy Kid.
Regardless, you need to see High School Musical. All of them. Especially the first and second one. Maybe the third. See how we
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, you
I
really.
watched the first one.
Oh no, but the second one is so bad and good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the best. It's so like, the first one, like obviously it's very, very manufactured, but I don't think anyone had any idea how big it was going to be. So the second one is very clearly like, oh my god, this thing is huge. We need to make a movie and we need to make it quick. And it's just so like cheap and nasty and wonderful.
I'm
I
gonna
love it.
I'm gonna admit something here. I watched them literally like a month ago, like all three of them. It was the first thing we did when we got Disney Plus. Like literally, we literally got
first?
Disney Plus, and the first thing we watched was High School Musical.
Not like,
Like,
Mandalorian or
like-
like what
yeah, I
else is
know.
on there.
Like all three of them back to back. It was one hell of a ride. I'd never
we didn't
never
spoil
like
that. Kieran
sessioned
spoiled
them
that
before. We should do a High School Musical eat along.
Yay!
I'm not
Yes.
getting Disney Plus for that. I'll get
Because
Disney
he
Plus.
bakes!
I'll get Disney Plus
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Hamilton.
There's stuff to do. There's stuff to eat.
Is
Well,
there
see,
any free
Hamilton-
trial?
Hamilton comes out
On Friday.
on Friday. Well, it's going to be Saturday,
Yeah.
really.
So you have to get a free
But
trial.
yeah, there'll be free trials.
I might
No,
do it. So I can
They've
watch Hamilton.
stopped doing free trials specifically because they know how big Hamilton is.
Aww.
Oh,
I'm
that's,
not paying for
that's
it.
bullshit.
It's very cheap.
How have they done that? Yeah, it's only like $4.99 a month, or something like
Yeah.
that. which is
I
pretty
feel
good.
like there's enough content on there to make it worthwhile. I sound like I'm being sponsored by Disney. Like,
You
oh,
all
there's so much
sound
on
like
there.
that.
From
Like,
Simpsons to
know,
Avengers
probably-
to Star Wars, there's something for everybody.
There really is a
You
lot
like
on there.
Pixar?
Think
There's
about
all
it.
the Pixar.
Unless you miss National Geographic, you have to do the ad read again.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's Jeff Goldblum
And
Explores.
also, the new Beyonce visual album's going to be on there for some reason.
What?
I know she's releasing a visual album
On Tidal and Disney Plus?
yeah, only on Disney Plus at the end of July. It's called Black is King.
I hope it's not just a visual album. I hope it's an audio album as well. Otherwise, it's going to be, you know,
It's just
what am I going to listen
Beyonce staring
to?
into space for 6 hours.
What's wrong with that? She's
I know, it
glorious.
would be the highest rated thing ever.
it would be.
Oh, Beyonce Homecoming.
Ah,
So good. So good. I've rewatched that so many times. Ugh,
Right, should we pod?
I probably should pod.
let's pod.
Pod,
Any more
pod, pod.
preamble for anyone?
Danny,
Nah.
preamble.
No more preamble. Real good. Let's jump straight in.
What does your t-shirt say?
Monkeys.
It says monkeys. I got it at an Arctic Monkeys gig.
Cool.
Ah, not Hey Hey We're There.
No,
Who the,
no.
I was gonna say
Arctic.
not at the zoo.
I don't just like monkeys.
It's not from Monkey World.
It's not
Hey.
from Monkey World.
Mocha.
What the hell is
Monkey
Monkey
World
World?
is the single greatest. Oh my god! It's only the single best
Greatest
thing
place
in the
on
UK.
earth.
Like it's maybe the Earth, definitely the UK. It's a sanctuary for rescued monkeys that can't go back into the wild.
Oh, that sounds
So it's
lovely.
this really amazing. Yeah, it's this huge like reservation where they go and rescue monkeys who have like been put on display unfairly or been made to interact with humans, taken from like their natural habitat, and they rescue them and they rehabilitate them and put them into like little family groups. They
Aw.
split the groups up depending on everyone's needs. There's like a group of like smaller monkeys, and there's the big monkeys. But like the enclosures are massive, and the monkeys are really happy, and they don't have to come out on display if they don't want to. And like all the workers there are really enthusiastic, and it's all done. Like it's like what zoos should be.
Yeah, and all
Oh,
the
whereabouts is
keepers
that?
when they like so.
It's near Poole.
Okay.
I'd check it out. All the keepers when they're talking about the monkeys just like preach conservation and like what you can do, and it's
Yeah.
just it's good. It's a good place. Hopefully.
And like they don't breed there. Like they give
They're
all. It's
purely-
actually this is actually really funny. They give all the women, all the ladies.
females.
They give them all implants so they can't get pregnant. But then one of the monkeys realised she had an implant, ripped it out of her arm, and immediately went and shagged one of the guys and got pregnant.
Really?
So
Oh,
they
they are
have a baby,
smart
so they're
creatures,
like,
aren't
okay.
they?
Yeah,
Same,
'cause
that story made me feel so sick because I have an implant. Like, oh,
so
fuck.
gross. But like their thing is like we don't want to breed any more animals into captivity. We only rescue animals that can't go back in. If they go back into the wild, they'd be killed.
Yeah,
So they only rescue those kind of animals, which I think is
that's
the only
great.
fair way of doing that. If you want to see animals, I think that's the only fair way of doing it.
Yeah,
is
the
that
worst
way.
thing,
and all the money goes towards them.
the worst to see in like captivity is like chimpanzees. It's like honestly the
It's
worst.
so sad.
So sad. Makes my heart melt when I see chimpanzees in captivity. They're such smart creatures, and they become really violent when they're kept in captivity. Like really, really
Like
violent.
humans do.
Like I'm sure humans
Go
would
mad,
be
don't
if they were
you?
kept in a glass cage all day. So yeah,
With people just poking out the glass.
don't keep chimpanzees, you bastards.
Uh,
Anyway, this isn't the chimpanzee show.
There is a chimpanzee podcast though.
It's
Called
primates.
Maybe we
yeah,
should-
primates.
Primates
Maybe we
is
should
quite
start
funny.
our own
Or a rival chimpanzee podcast.
rival chimpanzee
should-
podcast.
But I'm not sure there's anything we could say that Primates hasn't said because that is a movie podcast, but where monkeys feature in films and apes.
Should we like pick another animal and that be our niche?
Yes.
Catcast.
What?
Alligator
Cats.
pod.
I
Ah.
feel like alligator would be good. I feel like that you'd get a solid 2 movies. Sharks.
And then half the
Sharks.
time we'd be like, no, that was a crocodile in Crocodile Dundee.
What else could you do? Dogs. Dogcast.
Dogcast.
Yeah, most films have dogs in, I feel like.
Marley and Me.
Yeah,
will
but
just
no,
cry.
see like that, then
Yeah.
you gotta watch the really sad ones.
Airbud.
Old Yeller. Just makes me
Airbud.
about dogs
I
dying.
Am Legend.
I Am
John Wick.
Legend. John Wick.
Oh yeah.
See Spot Run.
I Am Legend. Oh, the dog from I Am Legend. That is like that scene still makes me cry. I can't.
Yeah.
It's not in the book.
Nothing's in the book. Everything's different from the book. That's the problem with I Am Legend. It's based on a great book that has nothing to do with it.
Oh my god, can we do
Yeah.
a whole podcast on dogs? That'd be
Alright,
Yes.
I'm writing it down. That's next week's
Right,
episode.
let's-
is
Great.
dogs.
But let's for now attend the podcast that we are currently recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Tara's doing the intro.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Oh, I'm ready.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Close Cinema Podcast, episode something. This week we will be discussing the upcoming releases in cinema because cinemas are opening as of 4th of July, I want to say.
Well, cinema have pushed it
Um,
back to 31st of July, so who knows?
This just in.
Today
That's an
I've got
exclusive.
with me
It's not an
Mr.
exclusive,
Danny
don't worry.
Pickett.
Hello. Coming at you with that useless Cineworld fact there.
We got Kieran.
Hello.
We got Liz.
Hello.
And we got
You're
Tara.
welcome.
Hello!
Very nice.
So, I've listed all the releases from. It looks like it begins in August of this year and ending in December of next year. And I've picked ones that I've heard of that we would have any kind of excitement about.
Woohoo.
Now, I'm not sure on the date of this one because it
No,
keeps changing.
these are kind of moving beasts. Like, I think we have to like caveat that like
Everything is changing.
everything is
Yeah.
changing.
And
Everything's
yeah.
changing every day.
And all the cinema chains keep changing the dates they're going to reopen.
Yeah.
They were due to reopen in the UK on the 4th of July alongside other relaxation measures. But given the fact that the R rate is still going up, surprise, surprise, these things are likely to move.
Yeah, and if you're in
Don't rely
Leicester,
on
then
us
you
for
ain't,
these
you ain't you don't stand a chance. We're sorry. You probably won't be seeing a film for the next 6 months. Get back inside.
Not streaming?
I
Well, I guess you could
we're
stream.
being like, we're being all like big for our boots here in London. We know when it comes back, we know London's going to be the cause.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, guys. Lucky you're in
Everyone wear your
Essex,
damn
right?
masks. Yeah, we're borderline, but
Yeah.
I don't imagine Essex would be any better.
Okay, so first film that might come out maybe 12th of August, from what I've just looked up, is Christopher Nolan's Tenet.
I have managed to avoid watching any trailers for
The
Tenet.
trailers give nothing away.
No,
No,
they
that's
don't.
fair.
Like I have no idea what the movie's going to be about. It just looks really good.
Just like
I just
any
know it's a
other
sci-fi.
Chris Nolan film, the trailer is essentially a series of honks and foghorns. And that's all you need to know about the film. It's like
Series of
from the creator of
foghorns and
Inception
figures and
comes Tenet. That's it.
Foghorns and silhouettes of men in dimly lit alleyways.
Yeah, essentially.
Unless you've got totally red.
It's just describing them as honks. Oh god.
It's a series of
I can't watch
honks.
can't watch any Christopher Nolan movies anymore because like I always see them as like the blah, but not as honks. It's like oh, now I've got to go
Very
see Tenet. It's worth,
insightful stuff.
it's worth the risk.
We're really just sort of like bashing all the hard work Hans Zimmer puts into his scores by calling them honks, aren't we? Really, Hans, we're gonna need a few more honks in this score, okay? Give me a few more honks.
So Tenet is a sci-fi.
It's a Christopher Nolan, which I assume means sci-fi, timey-wimey
Epic.
something.
It's gonna be an epic,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's gonna be non-linear. It's gonna be,
It's
you
gonna
know.
be the protagonist is going to be a man with a troubled past.
I'll give you
Yes.
I'll give you the rundown. It's going to be a man who's got a troubled past, isn't sure of his place in the world. There's going to be some sort of weird organisation that kind of, you know, is the overarching organisation that may be good, may be bad. We're not quite sure. There's going to be, timey-wimey things. It's going to be non-linear. There's going to be Michael Caine. You bet your bottom dollar there's going to be Michael Caine. He's
Yeah, Michael
definitely
Caine's in the cast.
in
Is
it.
he actually? Of course he is. Michael Caine's a gem, though.
And that's it. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
gonna be
Robert Pattinson,
everything I want it
feel like
to
is
be.
Gonna be. I'm predicting he's going to be like a wealthy billionaire who recruits Denzel Washington Jr. For like one more mission that Denzel Washington Jr. walked away from years ago. It was an experimental prototype. It never
His
should have
name's
got
not
to this point.
Denzel.
His name is John David Washington.
Yeah, Denzel Washington Jr.
John David Washington, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
He's Denzel Washington's son. Why do you look so confused?
Oh, because his name isn't Denzel Washington Jr.
No,
his
that-
name is John David
Yeah, that was
Washington.
confusing.
That was the joke.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Denzel
We're not
Washington Jr.
we're not that smart, Liz.
Fine, sorry, Junior Washington.
There we go.
Junior.
Like Peter Andre did with Katie Price. They called their son Junior.
Hideous. Okay, so the real question is which of the women built in the cast are going to be playing the main character's ex-wife, who he has a troubled relationship with, and he probably wants to kill him.
Well, considering that they haven't really promoted any women in this movie, I think
Nope.
I expect she's only there for backstory purposes and nothing to drive the plot forward.
Yeah,
Quite possible.
I agree.
Who do we have? Who's our women?
Okay, the women in the cast
Elizabeth
are Elizabeth
Debicki.
Debicki, Clemence Posey, and Fiona Dourif.
Are we
Well, that
sure
was
they
me
even
there.
exist?
And
I'm joking. I'm joking.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, Elizabeth Debicki is the estranged wife,
No!
There
but
we
not
go.
of John David, of another character.
There we are.
Robert
Wow.
Battenbat.
No,
My
it's Kenneth
God.
Branagh.
Kenneth
Branagh's
Branagh's in it.
movie?
Yeah.
Ah, Christopher
I
Nolan
have like
just
a
loves.
love-hate relationship with Kenneth Branagh.
Oh,
Tell
and,
us your loves, tell us
the
your hates.
guy who. Oh, sorry, Danny. The guy who who was in Yesterday, the main character, is in this movie.
Okay, he was good.
Oh my
He
god,
was
yeah.
good.
I can't remember his name. Himesh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Himesh
Himesh
Patel.
Patel.
Yes.
He was good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That film was but he was good.
Yeah, the film was so-so, but he was, yeah. pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
I mean, my question is if cinemas are going to come back and this, and Tenet's going to save the cinema industry, why would you pick a sci-fi, a film genre that people?
No, but Christopher Nolan brings in the big bucks every single time. Dunkirk smashed records. The Batman trilogy smashed records.
Yep.
Inception did as well.
Interstellar.
People just like Christopher Nolan.
yeah.
Because whilst it's sci-fi, it's still a blokey bloke movie. Therefore, blokey blokes will go to the cinema.
When you have a Christopher Nolan film coming out, you're going for a cinematic experience. It needs to be seen in the cinema. Like it's
Yeah, so it's event.
it's an event cinema. Yeah, it's event in the way that not in the way that like Marvel does it, but in like a kind of cinema kind of, you feel like you want to go and see the newest Christopher Nolan film in the cinema because that's just the kind of movie that he makes. He makes it for the big screen.
And also, like, I think he always kind of there's a mystery element to most of his movies. So, and like, especially in his trailers, the way they're edited, they give nothing away. So if you want to know about it, you have to go to the cinema so you don't get it spoiled for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be big, and it's one hell of a way to kick off. Going back to the cinema for this one massive
I mean,
cinema dose.
have you heard that because I think it's Warner Brothers who are distributing it, what they have said to try and keep it so the cinemas aren't too packed, they're going to give it a longer release schedule so you have more of a chance to go and see it. However, and I think I took this from a different podcast, it might have been actually Dan Murrell's show on YouTube, where he pointed out that even if they have a longer kind of distribution window, other movies are going to come out in that period and there might just not be enough screens to keep showing Tenet. If you're getting like your other films coming out, like your Mulans and that kind of thing, it's great that Warner Brothers are willing to say, we'll keep this out till, let's throw a month in the air, December. But if other films are coming out, they might not have the option to do that. The screens might not be there.
Yeah, there's a massive issue with like the windowing of films at the minute. There's so many films that have been backed up over the past 4 months, and they're all looking for a window to put their films. So the cinemas, at the minute, they don't have the capacity because, you know, they're having to like operate at like half capacity, and they're not going to have, you know, a certain amount of screens open, and then there's going to be like less people in the screens as well, but even more films to show than usual. It's a, you know, it's a scheduling nightmare for the studios and the cinemas as well, like getting all these films in and, yeah, letting them have their run, I guess.
I mean, the big fear is it's at the moment it's the unknown. It seems like Tenet is the kind of the first major studio. I know other films coming out beforehand, but this is like the first major studio one. But they could be associated with the scandal potentially because we haven't tested cinemas yet to see how safe they are with social distancing measures. It could be that they are safe, but we don't know that yet. So if there's an outbreak at a cinema, do we think we'll see the cinemas close again? Probably.
Yeah, and then, you know, that's going to cut the run short of that film, isn't it? And then, you know, it's not going to make a lot of money, and that's, you know, going to ultimately impact a lot of things.
It is definitely a risky play, but you have to think that, like, so if it does work, then because of the kind of the 50 or 30% capacity, and because of the way that kind of you know, when something's exclusive, the demand tends to go up for it. There is a chance that this film has a very long, very successful run, and just sort of doesn't get unseated because people are constantly clawing for tickets.
But do we think that, because there are other major releases coming out, ordinarily I'd say, yeah, it'd be fine, but as Danny's pointed out, everything's kind of being shunted into the end of this year. So you've got huge things coming out, like Mulan. I'm thinking of, there's another one that I just
Wonder Woman.
completely dropped out of my head. Wonder Woman, thank you. And Black Widow's coming out.
Black Widow as well, yeah.
James Bond is coming out. So
You're stealing my list here, Liz.
Oh, sorry. Spoilers. We'll get to them. But point being, they're going to have high demand. Like Christopher Nolan, yes, is a huge draw, but so are all these other things. Just as much so. Some potentially more so.
It's true. And, like, are you realistically going to go, in the space of August, say, are you realistically going to go and see Black Widow, Tenet, Mulan, James Bond as well, which is massive? Like, are you realistically going to go and see all those movies in August, especially when there's a pandemic going on? Who knows?
It's hard to know. I feel like in August, the numbers initially will be very low of cinema attendance, because I think there'll be some people will be like, it's fine, I'm going to go do it, and some people are like, no, I want to wait and see. They'll wait and see, and it would potentially be safer because fewer people are there, then more people will go, and then that's when I think we'll potentially get them closing again. It's not straight away in August. I'm thinking more September, October time, that number starts to creep back up, because the other thing as well, it's not just cinemas, other things are opening as well. Restaurants, for example, so you might start getting people trying to do what they would do on the Saturday with the kids, go take them to somewhere to eat and then go to the movies. If they pick up in a restaurant, they take it into the cinema. Like, we don't know. And I don't want to overly speculate because I think it's dangerous to when we don't know the science of it yet, but I think the loosening of restrictions in general makes going to the cinema that bit more risky as well, because it's not just a cinema opening in isolation, it's all these other things too.
Yeah.
I bet that there is enough people and capacity is reduced enough that cinemas will, by and large, be packed out as much as they can be packed out for quite some time. So it might just be that studios have to sort of neatly queue up for their money. I mean, and frankly, in the old world, studios neatly queued up for their money. They're constantly jiggling around releases so that they can maximise on gaps and make sure that their movie comes out at a time where their target demographic doesn't have another movie. If that just means that the other big studios let Tenet have a month before they try to sneak in their next release, I feel like they would probably be quite better that than not making the money.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that, and I understand the reasons why. For us in the UK, school summer holidays start at the last week of July and go up until the first week of September. Mulan has now been pushed back to, and I'm sorry, I know I'm jumping ahead, Tara. Let's move forward to, I want to say, kind of end-ish
I'll allow it.
August.
I'll allow it.
So I think towards the end of August, Tara's fact-checking me. But I found that quite interesting because I understand that Disney want to release Mulan on the same date everywhere, but that means that your best opportunity of getting kids into the cinema, which is over the school holidays, especially now their parents are at home and can take them to earlier screenings than they would be able to otherwise, that seems like a bit of a missed opportunity because that's potentially a safer time to release it and get more people in. Because I imagine that a lot of parents, having had their kids at home for several months, are looking for places they can safely take the kids and get a bit of peace and quiet. God damn it! That's another thing to consider.
Yeah, I think attendance won't be an issue for the cinemas. I think they will be packed out because people are starved of entertainment, people have got kids, they need stuff to do. And from what I've observed in the last sort of month or so, people are kind of behaving as they were before and just kind of doing whatever you want, you know, go wherever you want, don't wear a mask, you know, just all this stuff. So I think because of the way it's going with, okay, we're allowed to go to the cinema, I think people see it as, well, okay, we're back to normal then, and then start behaving as such. So I think it's just going to be life as normal in cinema. God knows what that's going to do with the infection rate, but...
Have any
Yeah,
of the,
yeah, no, I agree.
Have any of the cinemas in the UK explicitly stated what their distancing rules are going to be? Because I know there's been rumours swirling about having a kind of a checkerboard system. Have any of them committed to that? Have any of them said, you got to wear a mask? I would feel so much more comfortable going to a cinema if everyone was wearing a mask, just because whilst masks don't wholesale prevent the spread, they help a little bit. And if everyone's wearing it, everyone's doing their bit. But there's no point if I'm wearing my mask and the family kind of a space next to me aren't, that doesn't do me any good. So
By the way, that is 100% going to happen, because, like, you go to the supermarket now, no one wears a mask, and it's very hard to distance in a busy supermarket, but it doesn't seem to be an issue for people. So I think if it's not mandatory at a cinema, people won't do it.
I wish
They were. Cineworld were essentially, the staff were really campaigning to get them to ensure that customers were going to be wearing masks, because there isn't any policy in place like that at the minute. So the staff are very aware that, and sort of worried that customers won't be wearing masks. So yeah, I agree. I think masks do kind of need to be worn. And that will play a factor in whether people, I guess, will be more likely to go to the cinemas or not.
Well, I do feel bad because I think if people were wearing masks, just knowing, like, I've seen people get mad at the cinema if the slushy machine isn't working. If they don't want their family to wear masks, can you imagine what the staff would have to go through?
Yeah,
So
you'd need to hire security at every cinema. It would be a mess.
Either way, I feel horrific for people who work at cinemas because A, they've been out of work for so long, and B, they're going to have to go back in conditions that aren't necessarily as safe as we would like them to be, and C, if they were, they'd probably be victim of a lot of abuse. So it's hard because I want to go to the cinema to support the cinema staff. I want to keep their industry going because they're making a lot of sacrifices so we can all have a bit of entertainment.
So, will you guys be going to the cinema?
My feeling is I wouldn't be in the first week or 2 weeks. I'm definitely a wait and see.
Yeah, I'm wait and see.
If it seems to inexplicably be very safe, or if there's a cinema near me that mandates masks, I'll probably hit that up within a couple of
I
weeks.
wish that was a thing. If there was a supermarket as well, just that would be perfect. People who want to wear masks could go there.
Yeah, well, we have an independent cinema near us, and I feel like they might have
I don't think
they might have the opportunity to.
They won't. They don't have the staff.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, either way, I would probably pick the least popular cinema at the least popular time to just kind of not have to deal with people.
Yeah, I'd either go first thing in the morning or last thing at night, or on a weekday I'd book a day off work and go at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something. Just at an unpopular time as much as possible. It's hard though. It's hard to make the decision because it's such. you don't know what you're exposing yourself to, and there's so many unknowns. If cinemas would come out and say masks are mandatory, or if they said you can come to a screening, we'll have some screenings that are mask only screenings, I would absolutely do that.
That's such a good idea.
What about you, Danny? Will you be going to the cinema?
If they say that you have to wear a mask and they only show The Mask with Jim Carrey, that's the only way you're going to get me.
So you'd
into
risk
the
it,
cinema.
go to a cinema. To
I'd
see
risk
a
it
film that
for
you
The
could
Mask.
see
Maybe
at
not The
home.
Mask 2. Maybe not The Mask 2. Maybe not The Son of Mask. But if they only show The Mask,
Right.
I will
Okay.
be there. And they make masks mandatory, I will be there. I think they
Only
should,
big
you
green
know,
ones.
I think... Yeah, exactly. Only a big green one. Exactly. I don't know. I think I probably wouldn't be the first in line for the cinema. But, you know, give it another month after they open and maybe I will consider it. Maybe in August or something. When the initial hype has died down, maybe I will go. But,
See, my
yeah, not
theory-
initially. I won't be first in queue.
My theory is, and this is just based on other entertainment venues, and I'm not going to say theme parks, but it is theme parks, that the kind of the attendance levels, it was really busy for like the first 2 days, and then after that it dropped right off, and then it got busier after it had been open for a month or so, because people had seen, oh, the theme parks are open, nothing has happened, it's safe to go, and then they all went at that point.
It
Is
goes people who are desperate to go back.
Yeah.
Then there's a big wait and see period, and then slowly the wait and see people come back, and then that's when
I feel like if you went on the 4th day of the cinemas reopened, you'd probably be out. I don't want to make any assumptions.
Because that is the exact opposite of how things work in cinema, where your like opening weekend and opening week for any film are so like heavy and such like massive attendance compared to the rest of time that a film is out and like is
So
having
maybe it
screenings.
would be the second week might be. It's hard to say. We're trying to predict something which is completely unpredictable, and also it's very dangerous of me to be like, oh, it's safer to go on the second week because like that's bad advice. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Yes, let's get back to the much more accurate science of predicting which movies will be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
which
What do we
movies
think?
will
Do we
be
think
good
Tenet
and
will
which
be
movies
good?
will be flops?
Nolan's run
Oh.
out of juice. I think it's gonna suck.
Really?
Nolan's done. There's only so many honks you can put in a film to make it good. And this is going to have to be a considerable amount of honks.
I can feel it in my jellies that Nolan's just run out of like good, interesting stuff.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I'd like to be proven wrong, but I think this one might be his kind of. It might be his downfall.
I
Who
haven't
knows?
really liked a
Who
Christopher
knows?
Nolan film, like properly liked it since Dark Knight. Everything, I feel like I'm just going to come away like I do with all Christopher Nolan films, being like, that was beautiful and I'm really frustrated.
I will be the outlier here and be like, I think it's going to be kind of good. I've seen the trailers. I'm quite excited for it. It could be different. Could be the one, guys.
It could be good.
Right, we'll see
It could
what's
be
next
good.
on our list.
All right. So, oh my gosh, this will be a miracle if it comes out ever, to be honest. The New Mutants.
Oh, release it on Disney Plus, you cowards!
Yeah, I know.
Can someone just check when
How
was
lo-
the original release date for that film?
About 3
It's
years
meant to be like
ago.
a year and a half. Yeah, it's like two years ago, maybe.
I hope they don't
I'm pretty.
keep dragging the cast out to keep doing like press on it. It's like, I don't remember. What? I have no anecdotes. This was a long time ago.
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So how was it filming? How was it like filming this film? I have no fucking idea. It was like 5 years ago. Like,
By the time it comes out, Maisie Williams is going to be married with 4 kids.
yeah. And she's gonna, yeah, and she would have been 13 while filming it as well. So just be mad. Yeah, be mad.
I know.
So is that slated to come out in August?
Yeah, 28th of August.
Finally. I love that they're just kind of dumping it in this kind of pandemic season. They're just like, fuck it, right, get it out now, go.
There's like a rumour that I've heard somewhere that the reason it's not going straight to Disney Plus is because it was part of the agreement when they bought Fox. Is it Fox they bought?
Yeah.
That it had to have a cinema distribution, which is why it keeps on getting a release date, and they're not just like taking it to Disney Plus, which they could so easily do. It's because it can't go to streaming first; it has to go to cinema.
Why don't they just do like a little,
Really?
like a limited release in a few cinemas for like a
It might be
week
written
and
into the contract that it has to have a major release.
So actually, the reason I think that they're not doing just a small release is because, and also why I think they're going to try to release it now in the sort of summer holiday time, is because within the cast you have Maisie Williams, one of the guys from Stranger Things, and one of the guys from 13 Reasons Why, and I think with the fact that it's about teenage people with superpowers and it's full of Netflix/HBO superstars, I think it's going to be a remarkably big hit with teens who have literally nothing else to do. Even if it's so bad that teens hate watch it, I think they will go and see it.
But will their parents agree to giving them the money to go?
The parents are busy like working from home. These teens are just roaming the streets.
Yeah, there's been a lot of teens around in their teen gangs.
And they just roam. And, like, it doesn't matter what the lockdown restrictions are. There's always 12 of them.
Yeah.
And, like, some of them are on bikes. Some of them are shirtless. Put on a shirt. Put on your socks.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Well, they're going to be in the cinema in late August watching New Mutants. And I think it will have... it won't be Tenet big. I respect that. But I think it will do surprisingly well, all things considered.
I feel like if it's the option between Tenet, Mulan, and New Mutants, no one's picking New Mutants.
I would, because I just want to know. Tenet I will eventually watch somewhere else. But New Mutants, I just want to see the disaster as it unfolds.
Back. Tenet, which we've already discussed in length, is a movie you need to see at the cinema for multiple reasons, versus New Mutants, which we're all saying probably should have gone straight to Disney Plus.
And will.
You're saying that's the one to see. This is like the time when we went and saw Dunkirk, and then Kieran was like, you don't need to see that film in a cinema, you can just watch it on a Sunday at home. And it's like, that's the only reason to go
That's
see Dunkirk.
the only reason you go and see Dunkirk.
Wait, hear me out, right?
No.
I buy a VR headset, and then there is a VR program that lets you be in a virtual cinema,
Yeah,
and then I just watch Tenet in a virtual cinema.
Okay. Yeah, good
I'm
plan.
in for it.
I mean,
I'm in for it.
so you're saying that you'd... Okay,
If I'm cashing in my one movie chip for this whole pandemic.
not that I want to, like, kind of keep bringing up, like, the virus and the risk therein. We all accept that going to the cinema is going to pose a certain amount of risk to ourselves. We are somewhat...
I will risk death to see how bad this movie is.
There is. That's what I was baiting him with.
That's
said
the
it.
exclusive right there, guys.
He took the bait.
You heard it
and
from his
End the
mouth.
pod. End the pod. Stop recording.
And the relationship
He
isn't
would
worth it
he
anymore.
would die to see how bad that movie is. He would die to see how bad that movie is.
I mean, we're
That's
not
the headline.
going to go and see it. I'm not letting you go and see it.
It'll be on Disney Plus by the end of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have the choice between Tenet
Yeah,
and New
yeah.
Mutants,
I'm much more curious about New Mutants than I am about
I
Tenet.
think there is a very low chance that film would be any good.
I mean,
if it was
You know.
good, Disney would have prioritised it coming out sooner.
Yeah.
it's coming out before Mulan.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, but-
barely.
There you go.
Mulan's one of those films that's like Lion King, where it's irrelevant what the film is like. It will always make all the money.
Yeah, damn it, Disney remakes. None
Yeah,
of them
it's
are
true.
actually good, apart from Cinderella. I think is actually good. Aladdin had its moments. Lion King was an affront to God. I hated that movie so much. It was so bad.
Why?
There's Beyonce walking around with her Houston accent. I love me some Beyonce, but it was so distracting. Like hearing Beyonce talking whilst also having Beyonce singing in the background, but not Nala, the character. It wasn't meant to be Nala singing. It was Beyonce soundtrack singing. Was the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I hated it. Bad.
Would you describe
Why
it
did they
as
do it?
Beyonception?
Get out.
Ooh.
Get out.
Honk.
Can I just do a quick fire readout of all of the sequels and remakes that are coming out in the next year?
Oh yeah, do it.
So
Do it.
Yes.
there's ones that a few that surprised me. So we've got The Secret Garden.
Ooh, I want to see
Um,
that. Love it.
Okay.
Actually, there's 2 remixes. Candyman. Lawrence, After Arabia.
What?
After Arabia. Wow. What are they
that
doing
one's
to
worth
us?
the risk.
Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins.
I saw second G.I. Joe and I had a good time. I had a good time. There was an extended ninja fight sequence on a cliff. It was grand.
Why am I with you?
What? What are
we've
they
got
doing
Clifford
to us?
the Big Red Dog.
Clifford the Big Red Dog, oh my god!
See, now that is a prime
Yeah.
candidate for selling straight to streaming.
Yeah, that is.
Got
Basically, any
another-
kids
That
movie
is
should
that
go
is a
straight to
prime
streaming.
that is a
Got
prime
West Side
candidate.
Story.
West Side Story,
Oh.
boo! Don't need to remake West Side Story, boo!
Coming to America,
also-
but the 2 is the number 2.
With
Uh,
the same, like, cast.
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
With Eddie
Yeah, it's
Murphy.
Eddie
Yeah,
Murphy.
And
Eddie
what's her
Murphy's
name?
in it.
Fun fact that you don't care about: Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Garcelle, and I forget her surname, but she was in the original Coming to America. She is now on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she is a hoot. We love her.
Ooh-wee.
Top Gun, Maverick.
Nobody needs to see that.
Yeah, I know.
No one needed it.
Mortal Kombat.
You do.
That's always a good idea. Video game
Oh,
films.
I'd so go see Mortal Kombat.
What could go wrong with a video game remake? I mean, honestly, what could go wrong?
I'm not sure if it's
Remake of
true,
a
but
remake.
I've got Cinderella 2021. Is that true?
Yep.
No.
Yep. That's a Sony movie, and it's a reimagining. They're calling it a reimagining of the classic fairy tale. I believe it stars Camilla Cabello.
No.
And it's like a musical. So like they're singing popular sort of like pop music.
So basically,
Cinderella.
they're doing like what they did with Brandy. Do you remember that on the Disney Channel? Like this one,
No,
when we were little kids.
now-
There's a version of Cinderella where Brandy is Cinderella and Whitney Houston is the fairy godmother. I am not joking. I'm fairly sure Whoopi Goldberg is the queen. It's great.
Might check that out,
This one,
actually.
Minnie Driver is
for
the
God's
queen.
sake.
Billy Porter is the fairy godmother.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. James Corden is in it as well. Where isn't that guy? Fucking hell. Jesus
I
Christ.
like James
Corden. James Corden is everywhere. I got into bed the other night and he was just there. I was like, fuck off, James.
I like James Corden. I wish they'd stop casting him in musicals though, because they've done it like 3 times now. I'm fairly sure. Because he was in Cats. He was in
He is the Pitbull of 2020's musicals.
The Pitbull.
The Pitbull. He's just there. He drops a little rap track and
He's a-
disappears.
Into the Woods. He was in Into the Woods, and I feel like there's another musical that he was in. But yeah, they need to
He's
stop
every-
casting him in musicals because whilst he's got
He's
a decent
everywhere.
voice, he doesn't need to be in every single
Yeah,
one.
there's other things.
Lisa, I will
It's
convince you to watch Cinderella 2021 with this one sentence.
Okay.
The footmen / mouses
Mm-hmm.
are played by a combo of John Mulaney
I
and
mean-
Ramesh Ranganathan.
I am.
Oh!
I am
What?
so in.
That's so cool! And then
Ramesh.
What a combo!
I did not until now, but
Ramesh.
I only want the combination of John Mulaney and Ramesh Ranganathan. That is an incredible pair up.
I know. Wow.
wouldn't you
Can
just
you
watch
imagine
them
this
just
is
like
nice.
sat in a room?
sarcasm
just
coming
chatting?
from that. I'm seeing that movie. That sounds great. I'm in.
Okay. And then we've got Ghostbusters : Afterlife.
Eh.
Yeah. Tom and Jerry. I don't know if that's going to be live action. I don't know what they're doing with that.
Oh god, they do like they're doing Lion King, make it photorealistic.
Cruella.
Oh, was that the one with Emma Stone?
I'm not sure. Is
I
that a
feel like it's
Disney?
Nobody
Or is
needs
that-
Yeah, I feel.
any of these
I feel like it's Emma
movies.
Stone. They need to stop. I think they're trying to do what they did with Maleficent, but with Cruella.
And Jurassic World Dominion.
There's another Jurassic
right, I
World
know-
coming out this year.
No, 2021.
Dominion-
June 2021.
2021.
Okay.
I know we bashed Christopher Nolan, right? And I know we said that Tenet is probably going to be shit. But out of all of those films you just read out, Tar, at least his is like original, you know?
Yeah.
He's actually
Yeah.
thought of a unique,
I didn't
interesting
even
story
say
that's never
all
been
of the
told before.
sequels because there's so many.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh,
Actually think
right.
of
Oh,
any
yeah,
movies.
that was just sequels. That was just sequels, wasn't
No,
it?
that was
Yeah.
remakes and some of the sequels, but like a lot of it's sequels.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
let
can't think
me.
of any non-franchise movie apart from Tenet that's coming out that I want to see.
Soul, the new Pixar movie.
I do want to see Soul. There we go.
Soul will
Soul
be.
is
Yeah,
on the
I
list,
really want to
yeah.
see that too. I wanna
Soul
see
is
that too.
currently slated for the 27th of November.
Christmas.
Quiet Place 2, I think they've pushed. That could.
Hey, stop
that's a
stealing my
remake, isn't it?
True, Tara, go back to
Anyway,
your list. Tell us
so
what's coming
the
out
4th,
after Tenet.
the 4th of September, we might get A Quiet Place 2.
Ooh.
I saw a bus yesterday that was advertising it that still said March.
They moved that.
Oh.
They moved that early. That was one of the first ones to be like, you know what, we're not doing it, because it was James
Yeah.
Bond did it first. No Time to Die, and everyone's
Yeah.
like lost their minds. November, and I was like, oh, November might be a bit soon.
Yeah.
I feel like the
yeah, it
title
was-
"No Time." I feel like the title "No Time to Die" was just, it was just asking to be moved, wasn't it?
It was Beijing. Also, I don't care about James Bond movies. More like I like the first. I like the first Daniel Craig and the third Daniel Craig, but then the most recent one, in which there was this whole mystery around the girl in it, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be James Bond's daughter, and it turns out to be the love interest, and she's in the next movie. I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry. You're old enough to be her father, and not
Yeah,
like a young dad, like a dad in his 30s.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You're nasty.
You're nasty,
Any more comments
James.
on A
You're
Quiet Place
nasty.
2?
Any comments on A Quiet Place 2?
I'm keen on A Quiet Place too because it will be so tense that nobody will breathe the entire time they're in the cinema.
Oh, I didn't
That's
even think
true.
of that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
All right,
That is
I'll
great.
go and see Quiet Place too.
Get
'cause everyone's
out
got to
of
be
there.
Quiet.
When the credits roll, everyone will be like,
yeah. Great
Yeah.
exhalation, then I'll get out my oxygen
run.
tank.
just run.
I love it.
Yeah, the size
okay,
of
we'll go see
the
that
size
one.
of relief at the end of the movie will be just a plume of coronavirus. It's like everyone going, ah.
But for like the other options of cinema viewing, like like some sort of outdoor screening or
Drive-in cinema. That's what I'm
Drive-ins.
doing this month.
drive-in cinema for A Quiet Place 2 would be terrifying.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
that'd be
No,
amazing.
no.
It'll be out in the middle of nature, exposed.
I wonder if that's what something Secret Cinema could do as a comeback. They make it a driving experience
Ooh.
and they just shake your car.
That could be
Shake
good.
your
Yeah,
car.
that could be great. That could be
I
real
feel sorry
great.
for Secret Cinema. They had a great thing going, and I hope they continue.
They had a
The
great run, didn't
16th
they?
of September, we might have The King's Man, which is the
I
third
want to
one.
see that because it's got
King-
Ray Fiennes in it, and I've got a crush on Ray Fiennes, and I can't explain it.
Okay.
Bloody love Ray Fiennes.
In a way that makes me uncomfortable. You know what it was? I had no attraction to him, and then I watched The English Patient, and I was like, get it.
It's because she finds Voldemort sexy.
No, not
Sexy Voldemort.
not him as Voldemort, but him and literally anything else. Him and anything else. I don't know what it is. Him and in Bruges.
Oh, Monica.
Oh,
Sorry,
I
what?
know I shouldn't like it. I know I shouldn't like Ray Fiennes, but I would. He's. I don't know.
Ray
I don't know.
Fiennes.
Okay. I'm hoping this might bring it back because I hated the second Kingsman. Just was not for me. It was so far from the first one, and they just killed off the girl at the beginning, and it was just this whole
Oh,
other
yeah.
thing. I'm like, the first one was so great, it was so original, and then you lost it on the second one. So who knows with this one?
Yeah, the first one ends with a joke that's in really poor taste, and in the second one, and everyone agreed, like, good film, shame about the joke at the end.
Yeah.
And then the director doubled down, and the second one just tries to make that same joke like 6 times in the vain hope of landing it, and just sort of keeps failing at the attempt.
Yeah, it was really awkward because I like all of Kingsman up until
The very last scene.
yeah.
It's basically like a bonus like end credit scene.
It's just like why?
It definitely wasn't needed.
Hmm.
It definitely wasn't needed, was it?
No. But hey, hopefully the King's Man is good. The concept is very fun. It's got the kind of James Bond charm that cinema goers clearly still want but aren't getting from James Bond.
But it's coming out at the same time as James Bond.
Yeah, it's got
It is, yeah.
it's building a kind of mythology around itself, and I feel like it will be a good or it has all that it needs to be a good film. But also, I think it could do very well if it goes straight to home. That's a film which I think could do very well on a sort of solo £20, $30 home release.
Yeah, I would gladly pay £10 to watch it at home rather than going to the cinema to see it.
I would say that of all
I
the
actually
new
think there's-
releases, though, happily watch them in my home cinema. That sounded really fancy. I mean, my TV on the end of my bed right here.
Yeah, I honestly think that is, especially if there's a second wave, and lockdown measures resume. I really think film studios are going to have to start considering that as more of an option, because it's obviously that's terrible for the cinemas and that's a real shame. But the film companies are going to want to be, getting enough of a cash injection to prepare their 2021 post, hopefully, vaccine kind of slate.
But that being said, if their entire slate is being pushed back by 6 months to a year, it's not like they're going to run out of films to come out. They'll still have all these films backed up that they'll be wanting to release, so they can delay starting filming new stuff.
But you will need to, that is true. But you will still need to make about just enough money to kind of pay your back office staff. And
Yeah,
kind of,
that's true. If they've got no revenue coming in between March and now, yeah.
And Trolls World Tour showed that it works. It looked like it worked really well. The fact that they aren't bleeding money to distributors and cinema chains is really good for the filmmakers. So,
But is that something where, because it was a kids' movie, and say you got like 2 or 3 kids at home and you're trying to work from home, that you'll be like, I will pay anything to have a new thing for them to watch, shiny thing, go watch it. Will it have the same effect for your big releases, for things like A Quiet Place 2? Whereas that is more of an experience that is better. Like, I only saw A Quiet Place at home, and I wish I'd gone and seen it in the cinema because I think it'd have been a different experience.
yeah, I think that the Tenets and the Quiet Place 2s maybe not, but the Kingsmans,
Yeah, you
Or
can
the
watch that
King's
anyway.
Mans.
You can watch that on your sofa comfortably.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're, we're also starved of cinema anyway. I don't think people would be that hesitant about, buying these films at home for, 20 quid or whatever. But yes, that is such a big loss if you do that, because if I buy Tenet, that's my household done. So cinema's lost 100 quid in tickets like that way. So it's a really tough kind of balance of.
And you only live with
Getting
one
those
other
movies
person,
out.
your cinema is very expensive.
Yeah. She goes to an everyman.
All right,
Next one.
there is one film, Tara, that I know is not on your list, and it is due to come out in 2020.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
that is the film Monster Hunter. I
Which
have been a
is-
video game film apologist for a long time, and this film looks
You're
like
right,
the
Liz.
worst piece of trash I've ever seen. Monster Hunter is a game that deliberately lacks a story. You are a tiny person with a big sword fighting giant like dragons. And for some reason they decided to turn that into a film, and I don't know why. And it's due to come out this year. There's been a couple of trailers and kind of production stills and stuff. And it looks absolutely shocking. And if it sneaks out at the tail end of this year and nobody sees it, it will probably be a good thing.
I still haven't forgiven you for making me go see the Warcraft movie. It was so bad. It was so bad.
What did you expect? It's a video
Nothing.
game
I didn't want to
movie.
go and see it. I did not want to go and see it. It'll be good, he said. It's David Bowie's son. And I was like, yeah, he made Moon. That's a good film. Fine, I'll go give it a try. It was so
Good director,
Bad.
good CGI, just a
You know
shocking
what?
lack of
Kieran,
character.
I just looked it up, right? I will go with you because it's got Mila Jovovich, and I'll do it for the nostalgia of Resident Evil because I grew up watching this film.
You know what? That's probably the safest film to go and see because there'll be no one else in this room with you.
It looks absolute trash, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks absolute trash. It definitely looks like a Warcraft vibe film.
I'll quickly read the premise. A United Nations military team falls into a portal to an alternate world where hunters fight giant monsters. Two groups work together to defend the portal, thwarting monsters from entering and invading Earth.
So wait, let me get this straight. So Monster Hunter, the best thing about Monster Hunter, from having watched it in the background when Kieran plays,
Yeah.
is the world is incredible and you're part of that world,
Yeah.
you're part of the mythos.
The
that
rich
kind of thing.
biology of this universe.
So they've made a film where it's like, no, let's just take some friggin' millennials or boomers or whatever and just chuck them into this world.
Get that funding from the US military if you have military people in there.
I
Yeah.
am shocked and appalled, and I will go see this movie with you.
Yes. It's just going to be so bad. But the monsters look cool as hell, so...
Yeah, I don't... And then we've got Wonder Woman 1984 on the 2nd of October.
I do want
Nice.
to kind of go see it. I like the first one as much as
I like
we
the
tried
first
watching
one.
Justice League on Netflix the other day, and we got half an hour in and we couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But I like Wonder Woman. I thought that was a good movie. I like the dynamic and the charisma between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. I would want to go see it. I want to know why he's back. What did he do? Did he get stuck in the ice? Is he Captain America?
Yeah. I hope
Bringing
it's not
him
like
back,
like
what
a
I think was a
shallow
mistake.
fantasy or whatever. Don't play with my emotions like that, Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I feel like I'm interested in the film, but I'm not excited for it. It would not get me... If it was a bit dangerous, Tenet might get me out, but I don't think Wonder Woman would.
Yeah, for me, it's Tenet and Mulan are the ones where I'll be like, oh, I do want to go see that in a cinema. But everything else... I don't know, Tara, continue through your list, see what will get us out.
Black Widow, 28th of October.
No.
Can
Not
we
good
start ranking? Can we start ranking these like based on whether we would risk our own lives
Yeah.
to go and see them?
Oh, that's
Is
so
it kind of like
dumb.
I'd risk my life to go and see that. Sure,
I feel like
sure,
we're all like
great.
making like shits and giggles about this, but in like a couple months' time, with the big cinema scandal like bursts, we're gonna be like, oh, we shouldn't have joked about that.
So,
It's like,
let's
yeah,
jump-
it's gonna come. It's gonna come down to whether you feel like it's an art, like it's a good enough risk for you on the day. It's just like, yeah, I guess I'll go and see Tenet. I kind of, I really want to see it, but don't want to die.
I feel like you've got to pick it on like the weather, because it can't be raining, can be sunny, but it can't be boiling because most people will go there for the aircon. So
Right.
you've got to pick
Yeah.
the right day.
What? I thought people will go to the cinema way less when it's hot and sunny because people want to be outside. Like a couple of years ago, we had a really hot summer and a lot of cinemas closed as a direct result of it because just attendance really drops. when
I
the
might
weather's
just be
nice.
referring specifically to my childhood whenever my parents got too hot, they took us to the cinema.
Really?
Because there's aircon in the cinema. Like, I specifically remember going to see Pirates of the Caribbean for that reason. Like, it was really
That's what
hot.
inspired. So your passion for film was just because you were hot.
Probably. Like, I remember specifically being like, it's so hot. And I feel like I've made you go to the cinema before. I'm like, I'm hot, let's go to the movies, because it's got aircon there.
Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, I ain't mad at it.
Like, if it's a hot day, like, I can't go outside. I will turn into a crisp. I have to be in the shade. And cinemas are dark rooms with air conditioning. Big fan.
So my one thing about Black Widow is I don't want, like, the first Marvel film that I don't see to be the one with a female lead. Like,
You didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp?
yeah, female lead. How awkward is that? So second one. The first Marvel film with a female lead, I did not see it in cinema. I watched it on a plane. And I can't just be watching all the others with,
All your men's.
white male leads, and then they'd be like, woman, nah, not worth the risk. Like, come on. If it was 4-4, you
Kieran.
would be there. Yeah.
So you know that you're not sexist. We know that
I
you're not
need
sexist.
Disney to know that I'm not sexist. I need Kevin Feige to be like, no, Kieran, he's alright.
Then why don't you just buy the ticket
Yeah.
and not go?
But I am so unsexist that I will risk getting coronavirus.
Here is the money, here is my signature saying that I want you to make more of this, however I will not be seeing it.
Well, you could legit do that. You could buy tickets online and just not show up.
If they let me do the 20 quid and watch it at home, I would do it. Like, no question.
Because you are not a sexist.
Well, no, because I love Marvel movies.
I'm not the one who started this, Kieran.
But that's the way you phrase that made it sound like, oh, I love Marvel's movies so much that I'll allow women in them because it's Marvel. Not the way you phrase that was funny.
Okay, my bad. I apologise.
But
in
I'm not going to go
advance.
and risk my
Oh, no,
life.
guys, I'm not a feminist. I just really like Marvel.
I'm not-
Like, don't get them confused. Like, definitely not a feminist. Just a big comic book fan.
Yes, and
Like,
I
generally hate women, But like that Black Widow character is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Badass enough to get over.
But would I risk my life to go and see it? Probably not. Would I risk my life to go and see the new Thor movie? 100% yes.
Well, I mean, I feel like if it was the new Thor movie, more people would risk their lives for
Well,
it.
yeah, because it's gonna have the Guardians in it.
Oh yeah.
Everyday
And
sexism, folks.
Taika Waititi's coming back.
Male director.
Yeah. Ragnarok.
And Scarlett
Ragnarok
Johansson
wasn't
is
good.
like a little bit problematic with some of the things she says, so I don't know if I want to go support that, but I do want to support female-led movies. Florence Pugh's in it though, and I love her. She's terrific.
And Rachel Weisz, right?
Oh, oh yeah.
And the
And
guy
Rachel
from Stranger
Weisz.
Things.
And the guy from Stranger
guy?
Things.
The guy who plays the sheriff. Can't remember his name.
Oh
Hopper.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Playing a fat
Forgot his
Russian
name.
guy.
He doesn't look fat.
yes.
He looks swole.
Playing a big Russian guy.
I
Yeah.
do like
David
David
Harbour.
Yeah, he's good.
Yes, David Harbour. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Do we think Black Widow's going to be any good?
Maybe.
I would
Maybe.
like to think that, like, Black Widow, the character, is already dead. It's a monumentally stupid time to release a film with her as the lead. I really hope that they honestly found a story that's worth telling. Otherwise, it's a shameless cash grab. So if it's not good,
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. But I have faith that it will be good, because they had to have been like, no, this is worth reviving a dead character and making a film that doesn't fit within the chronological story we've been telling for the previous 21 movies. So, like, surely they have a
Unless-
compelling
Yeah.
enough reason to make it a
And
good
they-
film.
They've done a full turnaround from not selling, Black Widow action figures to making her own movie reviving a dead character. They must have
Yeah.
some faith in it.
It feels like as well the last kind of like 5 or so Marvel movies have all really stuck the landing. Like the most recent ones being Infinity War.
Yeah?
Is it Infinity War?
Endgame.
I can't remember which.
Endgame is the
Endgame.
best.
Endgame.
Endgame was really
Endgame,
good.
yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was really good. Thor 3 was very
Ragnarok,
good.
yeah.
Black Panther obviously was really good. But they've kind of stuck the landing on the most recent ones, so there's no reason to think it would stop now.
But if the movie does suck,
Yeah.
then that means they produced and released this whole movie as an apology for not having a Black Widow action figure, and it's like ultimate performative wokeness, and that just sucks. And they can do better.
It essentially
You
is
just
just
stop-
ticking a box. Unless it's like ticking that box saying, you've asked for this film, we're giving it to you. If it's shit, don't come at us.
Yeah.
I wish they'd stop killing their female protagonist by throwing them off a cliff. Doesn't happen once, it happens twice.
Really?
Think about it. Like in
Who was the
Infinity
other
War
one?
and Endgame, two female characters. We
Oh,
don't have
yeah.
many female
The same
protagonists.
cliff as well.
The two main ones we have both get thrown off a cliff.
And
That's
then
true.
used as motivation to drive the plot.
Motivation of the man who throws them.
We've got a long way to go,
They're
guys.
the love object of the man who throws them off the cliff.
Oh my
To be fair, Black Widow doesn't get thrown.
God
she throws
damn
herself.
it.
But
And it's a very emotional scene.
yeah, but
It's a
it's
great
just
scene, but
when,
it's
when it
just-
happened, I remember like leaning over to you and being like, "Why is this happening?" Stop throwing me off
Why?
cliffs, Marvel.
Surprise! This is now a 2-part episode because we are barely halfway through this list. And we're
Oh,
damn.
over an hour on filming, so...
We'll come back and see how everything's changed. We'll have to keep doing this every single week because I'll be every week.
Yeah, we'll have to come back and once the cinemas are open, we'll have to discuss our experience of the cinema
Oh yeah.
when we've all
Also,
been to
when
see
we choose-
when we've all been to see Tenet.
Well, when we choose not to go, then we can wait till it's released, read maybe 1 or 2 reviews, / how it is going generally for the cinemas and if there's another outbreak, and just kind of, review it from a distance, without actually seeing it.
See how we feel. See who the first of us breaks. My money's on Danny.
Yeah, yeah, probably right. I probably will break. I'll probably go and see Tenet when it comes out.
Yeah, because you're a feminist.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you so much for listening. We will end this podcast with everyone giving their best honk.
Alright.
And
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.